Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be on the Modern Dreamer palette. This looks gorgeous. It's a really fun palette, lots of neutrals, lots of bright, colorful, fun shades. And yeah, if you guys want to see what my thoughts are on this palette and want to see how I got this look, go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so this is the finished eye look. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face. That's actually gonna be a part of a different video. So I'm gonna go ahead and film that and I will come back with my makeup all done and then talk to you guys about how I feel about this palette. So this is the finished look with makeup and foundation and all of that beautiful stuff. I'm just gonna get into my feelings on this palette. So this palette retails for $35 and I'm sure I'm gonna say this sometime in this video before this point, but for $35 I don't think this palette is worth it. I was kind of staring at it last night and I kept looking at it and I kept looking at it, and when I was in Ulta, I'm like, I think that it looks stunning. They had another one, I don't remember, they had another palette like this and I don't remember what it's called. It came out like sometime last year and I think it was basically the same setup, so the same amount of shades and then the same price, but obviously a different color scheme. It was more like fall toned, I forget what it was called. Anyways, when I was looking at it, I was just contemplating whether or not I wanted to buy it because I just felt like the price was just off. And I mean, $35 for a drugstore product is insane to me. It at that point doesn't feel drugstore at all. I feel like you could have cut it in half and then cut off like half the price or something, and then that way it still would have been a fairly like big palette for drugstore with like, you know, so this is a 40 shade, I think there's 40 shades in this palette. So if you would have cut this down to 20 shades and then probably like, I don't know, cut it in half price wise, then I think it would have been a worthy like price point for the drugstore. Quality wise, I'm gonna have to use it more, but for thinking of the fact that it was $35, I don't think the price, or I don't think that the quality justifies the price at all. Like, I just felt like a lot of the shadows I had to keep building back up, and you can probably see it now. The blue shadow, or that like teal shadow, that shade is gorgeous. I love the idea of it, but I kept having to go back in and freshen it up and go back in and freshen it up. And then when I wanted to go and kind of add more depth to everything else, it felt like when I was building up, I was losing stuff. You know, if I'd go back in and I do a touch up, I would lose something else. Or if I went back in on one shade, then like 2 minutes later, I'd look at it and be like, what happened? You know, like, what happened to you? I don't know. I mean, it could be a matter of trying different bases with it. I just tried one of the concealers that I use fairly often, so maybe it's an issue of the base, but I don't know. I think the thing that I keep thinking of is like, if this was a $20 palette, I don't think that I would be this hard on the quality, but I feel like the fact that it was $35 so far from what I've used from it, yes, the colors are gorgeous. Like, this color scheme is really, really pretty. I just don't think that it's really worth that amount of money. I feel like you can find similar colors in different palettes, and yeah, I mean, it's great that they're all in this one palette, which you wouldn't normally, you know, you wouldn't normally get. If I try to do this look over again, I'd probably have to use, actually, you know what, no, there's one or two palettes I can think of that I could just use that palette itself. I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to keep using it because I really want to like this, but so far I'm just not, it's not completely there yet. And I mean, I don't think this look is horrible by any means, but like I said, I just felt like I was losing shades a lot. I had to keep going back in to build them up. With this blue shade, I don't even want to see what it looks like right now because I know it's probably like super, super faded and doesn't even look nearly as beautiful as it did when you first apply it, you know. And the one thing I will note too, so the inner corner where the shimmer is, that shade's really pretty, but I'm gonna just go and probably say that if you do get this palette, most likely you're gonna have to wet your brush to use the shimmers, or definitely apply them with your fingers and then go from there. Obviously, since this was an inner corner thing, it's kind of hard to, you know, do it with your fingers, but you know, but definitely, yeah, with those shimmers, probably gonna need to either use your fingers, which I do almost all the time anyways, or use a brush wet because I don't really imagine them working like super easily without anything to help them, basically. But yeah, I'm gonna have to sit on this palette a little bit and kind of see like if I can use it a little bit more, because you know, the shade range is it is really pretty. I'm still kind of confused with, right now, my biggest thing is the quality so far from what I've noticed, at least doing this look, and then the price. Like I said, if this was like a $15 palette, the quality would be fine, you know, like it would be like, you know what, it's not the best palette in the whole entire world, but it's $15 and I can live with it, I can work with it. $35, I feel like majority of the shades have to be really, really good, and like I said, you have to build them up, and I felt like I was losing some of the shades. So I'm gonna try it with a different base, but for right now, if you were to ask me like if I thought this palette was worth the money, absolutely like not worth the $35. If it was $15, then I'd be like, you know what, you do get a pretty decent shade range, so $15, yeah, I think that's justified. I mean, I've only used what I used today, so I can't even tell you like how the other shades work, but based off of my like very first impressions, this definitely isn't worth the amount of money that I paid for it. But $15, then yeah, I mean, sure, why not? Especially if you want to have like an introduction to, okay, so this would probably be a good like, not beginner palette, because it's, I don't know, it gives you a lot to work with. You have a lot of vibrant, beautiful, like neon bright shades, and then you have a lot of really like gorgeous, like neutral, like, so there's a lot of variety. I think my final like thought on it is it's not worth the amount that it retails for. It's not worth $35. Yes, I do need to keep working with it to see if anything changes with that. But yeah, I mean, if it was a different price point, my thoughts on this palette would be a lot different. I think it's okay. I don't think it's like the greatest thing in the whole entire world, but I definitely don't think that it's justified. Like for $35, I don't think that's, no. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to keep working with it. I'm gonna stop repeating myself. So if you guys liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We'll see you next time.